Hello, welcome back to Ellie Talks Tech. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you a software that I use. It's online, it's digital, and it helps me run my business. This is a little bit different, but since most of us here are creative in some capacity, I'm probably charging somebody something for our work. I wanted to share how I keep track of all of my invoices, contracts, bookings, payments, etc. This is Honeybook. I use Honeybook to not only bill people, but to build templates and packages, to send brochures, to send those contracts, and it's all built in. So it'll collect a signature for me, it'll collect the payments for me. It can be automated payments, so I don't have to remember, and it'll remind me and my client if they're late on a payment, or if there's an upcoming payment, or anything else for that matter. So let's take a look at some of these tools and why I love it so much. First, you can see on the dashboard that there is a quick overview of what you've got going on. It'll show me what projects are in progress, what payments are overdue, what tasks, if I'm using it as a task manager, because that's another bonus with Honeybook. You can actually use it as a task manager and your project manager, so you don't have to use multiple softwares. It'll show you your calendar, so when you're adding dates to your projects, what's coming up, what's happening, and it'll give you a bunch of reporting. So on my dashboard, I have a quick report that shows me the value of bookings. That's not how much money I've actually made, but it's how much I'm contracted to make for the year, and where my biggest lead source is coming from. That's another great feature that Honeybook has is it's a small CRM, so you can actually create contact forms and inquiry forms right inside of Honeybook, and it'll pull those contacts straight into your project manager. Moving on from the dashboard, let's take a look at the projects view. So at the top, you can see my pipeline, and I customize this to work for me. So you can create as many or as few steps as you want using this customized bar. You can see you can add a stage, or if I click on a stage, I can delete it. And that's going to let you track what you're actually doing in your business and how it works for you. This is also great when you have a team, so multiple people are collaborating and they can physically move the stage of the project when they've completed something. You can take a look at your contacts. So the thing that I like about this is that it will sync with Google. So if you are using a Google Workspace with your business or just a regular Gmail account, you can sync your contacts between the two platforms to send messages quickly. I have mine synced as well. You can also download those contacts if you're using another CRM. I use a different CRM for email automations, so that's really helpful for me to pull people in. And then you can upload contacts as well. Plus, if you go to a contact, you can actually see what projects you've worked on, how many projects there are, and the dates of them. Now let's take a look at the tools because there are a lot. So you can see under Essentials, there's my templates, there's a library, automations, calendar, and refer and earn. By the way, if you're interested in trying Honeybook, I can give you 25% off of the software all year, and you won't get that with their trial program. That's something that I can give you. So definitely click the link in the description if you want to try it out. There's a 7-day trial and then 25% off your subscription all year. Then you can look at the scheduler, the tasks, the time tracker. So if you're doing hourly work, which is one of the services I offer as a virtual marketing assistant, so I pay all of my marketing assistants hourly. So the time tracker is really helpful to see how many hours they're working. A template gallery. So templates are something that you create, but they do have some pre-made for you already. So let's take a look at templates first. Now you can see that I created a lot of templates. I've done a lot of things in my business over the years, from having a physical production studio to being fully virtual, digital, online, or traveling to my clients. So some of these are old templates that I just haven't deleted yet, and then some of them are new and I use them all the time. But what you can do is create an actual template that you would send to someone. So if I wanted to save a few steps, I've built this template with custom images, all of the text that I want, the wording, the packages that make sense, etc. And then I take the template and I click, use it, and then I'll delete anything I don't need. So that's the really nice thing about this is you aren't building a proposal or a template from scratch. Even if you are doing custom packages and pricing for everyone, you have a starting point. For example, the social media services I offer always have similar deliverables, so I don't have to start from scratch. Or the ad services I offer, same thing. So it's really, really nice to be able to just go straight in and do a few tweaks, double check the contract and the pay schedule, and then send it off. That's the other thing that these templates allow you to do, is set up a payment schedule. So you're both accountable to the dates that you agree on. So let's take a look at the website marketing and branding template that I have. I'm going to hide some of the details like pricing and some of my contract details, but you will be able to see how this is laid out. So you can see that I have a picture of previous work that I've done, a write-up, and then my packages. So I can look through what we've talked about on a consultation and then decide, like, hey, I'm going to leave this in because we talked about it, or maybe they would like to see it, and then other things I'll delete. The other nice thing is that you can choose whether or not a section in your template is required, because what they'll do when you have a brochure is they'll be able to select what they want to have with you. It'll automatically create an invoice. So if you want to make sure that they select from a certain section, you'll make it required. And if you don't, then it's not required. And I'm just going to toggle this off right now. The next thing that you can do is take a look at the contract page. So after they've selected it, it'll show all of the services, and then they can see how much it costs, and you can see the pay schedule. This is where I'll edit this. Whether that's a deposit that we've agreed on, a weekly pay schedule, a monthly pay schedule, however that looks. And they have the option to make it recurring invoices here, which we would turn on, or we can make sure that they use auto pay. We can make sure that they can tip you if that's the type of business you have. You can decide if you want them to use a credit card, bank transfer, or both. So it's got a lot of features here that it'll just handle automatically for you once you've set it up. And then it has the contract built in. Now, Honeybook has some template contracts that you can customize on your own. But the other thing that I like to do, because I have a master's in entertainment business and law, is I've written my own contracts. So I could go in and do this all from scratch. And then you can add some of the smart blocks, like the pay schedule and the person's name and anything else that you want to. I'm going to update my template because I changed it. And then what you would do is actually choose to use it. So that's how you're going to, and then you can actually just use your template. So the way that you would do that is create a new project, and then you would select the template you want to use. Let's look at some of our other tools. So the library is all of the uploads. So I've uploaded a lot of PDFs and images that I use to design my templates and send things to clients. That's in your library. Honeybook does have some great automations. So I do have some default automations here, but for the really in-depth automations that I like to do with my CRM, I do not use Honeybook. Looking at the calendar, you can see all of the projects that are booked. Also synced with my Google Calendar, so it's going to block off the availability if I have something that I booked personally or outside of Honeybook. Because I do contract with other agencies, I have a few calendars that are happening, and so I have to use that integration to make sure that I'm not double booking myself. Let's take a look at the scheduler. So you can actually schedule out different sessions. For example, if I have a video call, which this is a link. I use Calendly for most of my calls because I do paid consultations, but you can also create a simple session inside Honeybook. It's part of what you already pay for, and it integrates with Zoom. So that's really great. And then if you create a smart file template that's linked to this scheduling block, it'll automatically create an invoice after your call. So that's really nice too. For the tasks, you can add in the tasks that you have going on, and we'll just do one together. So you can do a new task, you can do the project, and then you can assign it to whoever's in your workspace. We'll just do a sample task. It's due tomorrow, and then I'll pick, for example, I have a few of things for a client, and so it'll let me pick which project it's for, and then I would assign it, and then the task is created. It'll show up on your calendar, and it'll remind you when you have it coming up. The time tracker is another great feature, so you can log your time. For example, you just put in test for 2 hours, my hourly rate, say $50 an hour, and then you can add it to a project, and it will automatically bill that person who's in the project. Now what I like to do is use another software to actually in real time track it so I can give a report. But if you wanted to add this quickly to a project that's already happening, this is a really great way to do that. And then of course the template gallery, we've already looked at my personal templates, and then they have a bunch of templates that almost look like websites to start off. So if you aren't a designer or you don't have a specific look that you're going for, this is such an amazing starting place, and it'll save you a lot of time. You just switch out the text and the images, maybe the colors, and you go from there. Now we can look at all of the financial reporting. While this doesn't replace an accountant, it's going to give you a really great starting point, especially if you do it on your own for yourself. So it'll show you about how much you've booked, how many files you sent, how many files you've booked, and what your booking rate is. So this is really good to know if you're tracking the effectiveness of your sales calls, as well as how much money you're making. You can also do it by date. And then you can also see like, okay, where are my leads coming from? So these are really useful reports. You can also customize reports, which I do for my accountant every single month. You can view your payments. If you track expenses in Honeybook, you can track your expenses. You have to do it manually. But again, if you're not using anyone else like an accountant, or I also use QuickBooks Online, then this is a great place to do that. You can track your capital. You can track profit and loss. So this stuff is good for tax time, and it's good for business management. And then you can create some of these contact forms. So I have two that I use. One of them is a first contact, and then the other is for a specific type of project. The Chrome extension is also really great to use with Honeybook because it's going to help you track things across the board anytime you're online. So I don't have it because I don't use it. I just go straight to my dashboard, but you can see that it's going to let you communicate more effectively inside Gmail more quickly. Batch emails, that's something you can do to send to multiple clients. I did this before. I do it with client check-ins sometime, but I mostly use my other CRM to do that. So if you want to offer gift cards, or someone wants to send a gift to another person for your services, you can totally do that. Another way that you can use this, I think you should use it this way, is for client appreciation. So if you have a referral program, or you have an amazing client, or you celebrate birthdays with a discount, anything like that, you can use these gift cards for it and then send it straight off to your client. So after all of that, I'm sure you can see why I love Honeybook so much and why I use it for my business. I'm on the $40 a month plan, so it's something that I definitely consider a slightly bigger investment, but for my business, that's a worthwhile cost. I'm also paying for Adobe Creative Suite and QuickBooks Online, and those are my main subscriptions. So if this is all you're using to run your business, it's a pretty cost-effective way to do so, and it helps you keep track of your money, your projects, and your team. If you have other questions about Honeybook, please drop it in the comments. This is not a sponsored video. I've just used it for years and I love it. I was talking with another business owner the other day, and it really helped them to know more about how Honeybook worked, and they ended up signing up. So again, please make sure that you make use of my discount. Save yourself some coins. It is linked in the description for this video, and I hope that you consider Honeybook and enjoy using it. If you want to see a comparison of other platforms as well, or how I use other technology to run my business, please let me know. Either way, I hope that you have a great day, create something amazing, and then, hey, tag me in it. I'd love to see it. If not, make sure that you subscribe, like this video if it helped you, all that good stuff. Send it to a friend. Who knows? You could share some joy and some knowledge. I'll talk to you guys soon.